Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Targeted Experience. Uh, I'm going to break down in these series of videos the psychological operation, the use of coercive method to engage in these types of coercive persuasion program, right? And programming. So let me begin. So let me just go back here a little bit, right? Where are we at here? Let's go here slightly when all right there. Okay, all right, there you go. All right, so this will be fun. Let's start here. Because she's been hiding who she truly is. You know, they're highly egotistical of narcissists. All right, so you'll see this guy coming up. Look, as he comes out of the bus, he points to me very subtly now, because they've been priming me on the bus, right? So people on the bus will start looking at me, looking at my head, as they approach me if I'm on the bus. Started when I got on the other bus, right? So as soon as I got off my phone, the other people who got on the bus, they'll stare up at me, stare up at my head, like literally like staring. It's what they do. It's called the staring campaign, all right? So pay attention, all right? Guy comes off, and of course he has the army fatigue hat on, right? So as he's stepping off the bus, you'll see as he very subtly points towards me. See that? Very subtly, right? I talk about the subtle form of attacks that they do. Right? Then as he gets off the bus, opens up his mouth, right? And then looks up at the window. Okay? So again, this is what they do. Oh, because it's like they play this game. Like I said, you're either first, second, or third. Then also, whenever the word "you" or somebody, if I'm watching a video and it says "you," they will use their sirens. If I said "you," also they will start using their sirens, right? If I'm reading the word "you," they'll start using their sirens, and this was constant. So this is the priming and what it is that they do. All right. So now when I go outside, people will start staring at me. Like literally, like I talked about the other night with the dude got on the bus. He got on the back of the bus. He walked over to the front just to turn around to look at me and walk back to the back of the bus. This is the stuff that they do. Okay. All right. So let's get to the next video. Hold on a sec. All right. So this video is a couple of seconds. Let me see, make sure. I'm not sure if this is the right video. All right. So this woman gets on the bus. Okay, this was about maybe a couple stops after I got on the bus. She gets on the bus. All right, was it? No, I think she got on the bus the stop that I got off on. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that you'll see is that let me see if this is the correct video here, because I gotta do this. Okay, so it's the other video. All right, let me see if I can get back to the other video. All right, here we go. So this is the correct video. So when I got on the bus, like I said, and you guys can see here, somebody spit on the bus. All right, so that's what that is. It's like dried up spit. Okay, and again, nobody's sitting there. All right, as well as the other seat that you'll see, as I said, dried up spit. Then you're put it to the department in the background using these sirens. Okay. All right. So let me pause the video. All right, that's this one. Let me. Right? And then they left the candle. Okay. All right. beginning. Okay, now let's get to the other video. So when I recorded, I started recording the video, right? Oh, come on now. I'm trying to get back to the other video. I don't know what's up with this. Let's do that here. Come on. All right, let's hold on a sec. All right. So if you see what she did here, she stuck her tongue out, okay? Because she's there to observe, to see what it is I'm going to do. Am I going to notice these things, right? Because again, understand that when you have been programmed and conditioned, right, there's nothing you can do. You're going to recognize these things, right? And this is what they're not being told, right? So if somebody program your subconscious mind, right, to recognize certain things, right, and the fact that these people are not being told how they brainwash you, how they program you, so they're just going off of what your behavior without understanding what was done to you psychologically, right, as well as the use of technology to manipulate, your mind as a TI. This is what they do, right? So this is how they get away with it, right? If they can brainwash you and manipulate you, and again, as I said, Nigerians are a special kind of stupid, not because we're born stupid, but because, and I said we, because I was a Nigerian at one point, because we have no clue about these sort of conditioning, right? Because we are strictly believers for the most part, the vast majority of us, no matter where we are in the world. The colonizers has colonized our minds beyond anything that their ancestors could imagine. Right? Our minds are still being colonized. We just can't see it. So anyway, so after I started recording, because I noticed, I'm like, because I've never seen that before, right? I've never seen that before. And, let me tell you something. Yesterday, I didn't think anything of it, but yesterday, on my way home, a woman got on the bus with her daughter, young child, probably about 3 or 4 years old. And the child would turn, and as the child would turn, she would put her mouth on my arm, all right? And so the child did that like twice. And then her mother, while the bus is driving, she takes both her hands and put it behind her head. And I'm saying, I looked up and, I was busy reading the article. Usually sometimes I try to tune out on the, on my way home because I'm reading articles, what have you. So I actually even forgot to mention it. Right. And that's just to tell you how when they do this to you, how subconsciously your mind does things that, in order to protect itself. Right. So for example, my mind just forgot about what it is that she did, even though it probably was important. But, and even earlier today, while I'm doing this video, I didn't think about it. It isn't until right now that I just started to remember that, right? And as I said the word think, the New York Predator Department began using their sirens. So again, when they do stuff like that, it just goes to show, it shows me actually how we as black people, and Nigerians also, are conditioned, are programmed not to think, only to believe. So here she is. As soon as she saw me recording, and then I turned my phone off, she started doing hand signals, and I recorded right away. She didn't even see when I started recording. And again, these are the gems that I talk about. When they think that, they have the opportunity to target me, and I don't record them, because again, you saw the other video. I just did it was a couple seconds of that video, right? So I had stopped the video, and then she stuck her finger in her ears, and then I just immediately I hit the record button again, right? And then as you see, she's sitting there sticking her tongue out. Okay. All right, let me play the video. I hear the New York Predator Department in the background. Okay. Now, also, before I forget, so she did not have her phone out. Her phone was in her bag. It isn't until I started recording And after I turned off the recording because she saw me hit, of course, she's looking at me, right? So once I hit that recording, I put my phone down. All of a sudden, she takes her phone out of her bag, sticking her tongue out, what have you, right? Now this other woman sitting over here, right? As after this video, after I finished recording this video, there was a New York Predator Department vehicle, right, coming in the opposite direction of where the bus is going, right? So the other woman that's sitting across there, she started putting her, she didn't really put her hands around her neck, but she took her hands, right, and put it right underneath her neck, right by her shoulder, her other shoulder, right, as a whole choking thing, right? But she didn't really, you understand what I'm saying? Because they know how to adjust, right? So, for example, when I talk about the whole crotch grabbing thing that they would do, right, and I started recording to showing you guys, this was walking towards me. Then when I expose them on video, what they do, they'll have men walking in front of me, grabbing their crotch, right? Their hand movement is going right to where their crotch is. So it's like the same thing, right? You know what I'm saying? So they adjust to a different form of harassment, right? But they, like I said, what they don't understand, I keep telling them, is that my purpose is greater than theirs, just to expose what it is that they're doing. Now, again, how many other people are they doing this to, and have they done this to? Right? That's the question that we all should be asking ourselves. Because we know that when it comes to these sorts of conditioning, these sorts of psychological program, most people can't even see it. Most people don't even understand how they're being influenced, how they're being programmed. This, when I talk about the system and the criminality of the system, right, and the use of psychology, technology, all these things, environmental warfare, it's all based on profits, right? To put a large section of people within the society in the private prison industrial complex facilities, right, and they're making tens of billions of dollars, and they use psychology and psychological manipulation and programming, covert operations, as part of their weaponization on the civilian population, particularly in the black population. We should understand this. We should know this. All right? And then you have the Sambos, the black Sambos, and the Negropean Sambos and Sambinas, who will participate because they want to be in the same societal status as the racist white people. So they will sell us out, and they will sell each other out for money. Right? But again, you have to understand why. You see, the white supremacists know that when you keep a people at the bottom, when you keep them in poverty, the vast majority of them, right? This is how they continue to infiltrate black organizations. This is part of it is COINTELPRO, but this is much broader. All right. So anyway, you'll see her sticking her feet out. All right. Let me see. Did she miss it? Hold on a second. Okay, so I thought yeah, there she goes. So she finished sticking her tongue out, she had her feet. All right, she had her feet. All right. And I talk about how they'll kick their feet back and forth, right? So now, again, immediately as she stuck her feet out, did you guys hear the call horn? Did you guys hear that? And again, this was when the New York Predator Department vehicle, after I ended the recording, was coming down the opposite direction of the bus, right? Like a couple of seconds after the video ended, right? So, all right, now let's get to the other video. As I said the word now, near present department using their sirens. Where am I at here? Okay. No, that's one. There we go. Right, here we go. So, like I said, I was, I was standing. So I wasn't sitting, right? I could have sat down, but I knew something was up. And that's why I stood. I had my phone ready, and I was like, let's see what they're going to do next. So this vehicle, that's in front of the bus, right? Like I said, the bus was on the stop before the stop I get off at. This vehicle pulls right into the bus lane. Like example, let's say, I mean, right in front of the front of the bus lane. So when the bus pulls into the bus lane, it does it usually at the beginning of the block, right? So for example, you got a bus lane. This is where the block starts, and then you have a couple of feet on how long it is, where it's just for the bus. But he pulls in right, like let's say you make a turn, right? So you make a turn on the corner, and you stop right there. This is what he did, and on top of that, he had two passengers in his van. In his car, right? One person got out. The person in front got out. It's an older woman, and then he drove down further into the bus stop lane, and let the other passenger off, which is a younger black female, right? And then he waited. Okay, he waited, right? You know what I'm saying? Because again, the bus had to pick up, let passengers get off, and then passengers get on. So he waited, which is why I knew it was deliberate. This is why I started recording, because I also noticed the license plate, right? Now we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the number 32, but I'm going to talk about the other numbers in the license plate too, right? So, let me continue, right? You see, and then also the same woman now who was sticking her tongue out, she got up in front of me, right? Because again, this is the stalking thing that they do, but they try to mask it, right? So number 5032. Now let's look at the choice of lettering with the license. Like I said, this is integrated within the society, and many of us don't understand that or even recognize that, right? This sort of thing. All right, let me just pause the video here. Okay, look at the choice of letters, right? So LWV 5032. Now the L, I have, for me that's loyalty. I talk about the W, winning, and the V, victory. Loyalty, winning, victory, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm a loyal person. I'm gonna always be loyal. They can't bribe me with money to try to use me against my people or anybody else, which they've tried and it didn't work. I've done videos on that where you see people come walking towards me, taking out a stack of cash or standing on the side of the sidewalk, and when they see me, they take a stack of cash out of their pocket counting it. You cannot bribe me with money. Okay, my dignity, my self-worth is not based off of money. Okay, that's how you condition most people in society, and particularly Negropeans, particularly Christian Negropeans. You can always bribe them with money. All right, and then the number 50, right? So the number 50, early in my targeting, when I talk about the used music. So at the time, 50 Cent's album had just came out. It was called "Get Rich or Die Trying," right? And so what they would do is, particularly on the radio, like when I was working, I went out to lunch. When I had the on my phone not on the phone, sorry. They were playing it in like the restaurant. So if I go to a Wendy's or McDonald's for lunch, you know what I'm saying? Any place that had like a radio, they would, the song 50 Cent will always one of the songs, right? Like in the club or some, like I think it was in the club that was more popular at the time. And and it would the disc jockey would be like that was such and such the name of the song off of the Get Rich or Die Trying album, right? So they will always say that, right? Whenever I go out to lunch, it was so scripted. right? And I keep saying to myself, why is it? Why is that? All right. So then, just as how they had me fixated on the number 32, the number 50 was the very first number they had me fixated on, right? And again, I'm talking about priming, using radio stations, using songs, right? Using the fact. So then, whenever they have people wearing jerseys with the number 50 on it, right after that, right? This is conditioning. At the time, I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things. So now, recently, also in the past couple of days, the number 50, whenever I see the number 50 also, they will use their car horn or the sirens. Okay? This is, like I said, I know I've spent a decade and a half observing, studying what they were doing and what they have done to me. It took me almost near 2 decades to have a firm understanding and knowledge of what it is that they've done to me and others, including the use of technology, right? Silent sound, radio wave frequency for mind control, the coercive threats, trying to silence me, trying to use the authority as a tool to silence me, conspiring to destroy my life, and using the churches, using religious believers, some non-religious believers also. All right. When I talk about cognitive warfare, I'm showing you guys how cognitive warfare is not only rage on targeted individuals, and neurocognitive warfare especially, but how they have engaged in those tactics against black men and black women who they radicalize and weaponize to do that to each other without being able to think. This is why when I say the word think, or I'm thinking, or I think, they use their sirens. The New York Predator Department. They don't want us black people to think. They only want us to believe. So they can get away with the continued oppression, the continued lying, manipulating us, profiting off of us, and particularly using in law enforcement. Again, go look at the DOJ report on Ferguson. Go look at the New York Predator Department over the past decade and a half. Over 500 million, almost over half $500 million in lawsuit and settlement paid out. Right? Right? The Dirty 30, one of the most notorious corrupt precinct in the history of the New York Predator Department. Right? There was a commission, I forgot the name of it, that said the New York Predator Department is the most corrupt predator police department in America, in the nation. I'm not saying that. You can go look it up yourself. So I know who I'm dealing with. See, these people delude themselves because they're in a position of power and have a gun and a badge. They want that they believe that they're the good guys. They're not. They're not. And we see it all the time. Regardless of what this, you see, the reason why they want us to be believers as black people, because they don't want us to see the truth. And the vast majority of us cannot see the truth because we are believers. Okay? So, anyhow. So what they try to do, like I said, is to mask their attack, particularly stalking me, which is again, if anybody else was to stalk anybody, you will be arrested. Okay, I understand that. But I understand how they circumvent the stalking laws by using multiple people, by giving people information of the destination that you're going and where you're going to get off, and targeting you, literally placing them there to target you. Okay. And again, they talk about the red team and stuff like that. Like I said, I can always recognize.
So let me tell you what they did, right?
Again,
you guys what they did. Like I said, I know them so well. Every tactic that they do, they've done before, and I've always been able to recognize it and spot them, right? So the New York Predator Department as the...
Well, you guys see the video. Okay, also. So up until this point, right, you see the video, my video stabilization. because I turned my video stabilization on when I started recording. Right? And I talk about them having access and hacking into my phones, right? So it doesn't matter which new phone. And here's the thing: whenever I've gotten a new phone, right, what they will do is that all of a sudden, they will have people call my phone who I don't speak to regular, right? Because again, this is their way of using other individuals. And again, these people don't know that they're being manipulated, right? They don't know this, okay? Except for maybe Alda, who I haven't spoke to in months. But as soon as I got my phone, and as soon as I had my phone service, my phone set up to where I'm importing all my contacts, stuff like that on my phone, she calls me. Now I didn't know she called me because I think I had went to use the bathroom, and she, I didn't call her back, right? But then the next, like I said, the day before, I get a call from my friend in Atlanta about her daughter laptop, with this sound, not there's no sound in the laptop and stuff like that. And I did a video on this already, so I'm not even gonna go into detail, right? And then after that, after I got off the phone with her, they started launching apps on my phone just to let me know that they've hacked into my phone, right? So yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not, like I said, I hope somebody's hacking their ass to hacking their phones, okay? Hacking every social media account they have, hacking every banking account they have, hacking every credit card account that they have. Like what they've done to me. And like particularly with my PayPal. Now I did a video, right, and I talk about how, and also I got a call a couple of days ago about some purchase that I've made, whatever iPhone purchase of $900 and something dollars. It's always that same number, right? So which brings me to this. I was talking about with PayPal. So they had hacked into my PayPal account and made a purchase from Temu. Right, it was like $900 and something dollars. Right, the same amount of the same number now. I think I still have the message, right, on my in my voicemail. And I did a video on that. I called PayPal. I let them. I said, "Hey, I'm recording this conversation because So my brother went to, and I had loaned my brother some money, and he went because they've been hacking his accounts as well also. So he doesn't, he no longer uses Cash App anymore. I usually send him money through Cash App. He no longer used that. Now he's only using PayPal. So I sent him some money, using Cash App, and he normally would send it back using Cash App, but this time he didn't. And I'm like, why didn't you? He's like, his account got hacked. So he was trying to send me money using PayPal, but he couldn't. So when he called PayPal, PayPal told him that I was making fraudulent purchase. And I'm just like, what? Now you can go through my PayPal history. All the purchases that I've made have always been no more than $150. No more than that. Right? But all of a sudden now, there was a purchase for $900 and something from Temu. Now, I don't even shop at Temu. I've never shopped at Temu. It's one thing, being a TI, I'm very skeptical about buying stuff overseas. Particularly, even though, some of the computer parts there is cheaper. You know what I'm saying? But because there is no guarantee that if my package is damaged, I will get a replacement or money back. And if I do get a replacement, I have to wait how many weeks, right? Because it's coming from China. So I always buy from Amazon or any of the U.S. retailers, so I know that if something goes wrong, I can send it back right away. I can get my money back right away, right? Again, this is how I have to think like this because of the fact that I know that they will engage in this tactics, right? So when I called PayPal, got everything straightened out now, explained to them, they understood, then I had to limit my PayPal. account where I can where there's no purchase over a certain amount, and I think I have put it to like probably like $125, something like that, right? Then they hack into my PayPal account again after I changed the password to make the same purchase off of Timo, but this time it didn't go through. So now they are using other tactics and other methods, right? So PayPal knew what had happened, right? My bank knew because I had the bank as the representative from my bank as well as the representative from PayPal on a conference call together. Right now I have all this shit recorded. Right, you know what I'm saying? Yet, because my brother couldn't send me money using PayPal, they had PayPal had closed down my account. Right. Because when I went to pay my month, every month I pay my bill off. When I went to pay my bill off, it told me that I couldn't do it because my account has been closed. So this is what they do. This is how they try to financially ruin you. They'll destroy your credit. This is why, like I said, it's black people. This is why part of the reason why our credit is so bad, because the white supremacists in the financial system, they know how to target us. They know how to target us. Right? But the fact that I see exactly what they do because I've studied, I've observed what it is that they do. That's how I'm able to see it. I've listened to other people explain the system and what it does. You know, very few black people can explain white supremacy for what it is. We barely have black scholars today who really can understand, who really know how the system of white supremacy works in its entirety. Okay? And most of our scholars that know have passed on. All right? So this is what they do. You know, I was billing my credit, right? And then they attack me. I can log into certain websites that I have, I could no longer pay my bill, right? And then the fear that they've created within me in terms of sending checks and money order through the postal service by using postal worker to engage in sort of subliminal cursive threats or subliminal threats of not delivering my mail or losing my, they've done this to me before. Right? So we are talking about conspiracy. That's why there's a law in the books called conspiracy against rights. Okay? So anybody tell you as a TI that no one is conspiring, don't believe that shit. Right? Because the reality is that people do these things. This is why there's a law against it. All right? So again, you gotta be smart. But anyhow, let's go. So you see, image stabilization is on.
All right, welcome back. So, yeah.
Okay? Working pretty well.
Express red. Color red again. So let me tell you what they did, right? Let me tell you guys what they did. Like I said, I know them so well. Every tactic that they do, they've done before, and I've always been able to recognize it.
No, I didn't even see this, right? So the same woman now, she looks down at her feet, right? And you'll see the Verizon truck pass by, right? The Verizon truck, you know how he got the check on there, right? Now what did they do?
Driving on the next block.
As I turned,
in the opposite direction of the bus, and I saw that. And the reason why, I got on the bus.
Look at how my camera, how the phone, the video is going side to side, right? Stable, right? As soon as that the Verizon vehicle passed by, watch this one.
You guys.
Okay, let's get a little closer, and you'll see her folding her lip. All right, and then she looks up, right, looking up at the window. But again, it's the reason why they turn my image stabilization off, because they knew exactly what it is that they do. When I talk about how they are, they do these things because, again, they understand the inner workings of whichever phone you're using, whether it has great image stabilization or not, whether when you turn the image stabilization off, how your movement, right, things would be out of focus. Okay,
On the bus,
things would be out of focus,
right? You
and so
guys will see.
they know this. All right, so let's get a little closer so you guys can see. All right, so at this point, see, mouth is closed.
Yeah. Got on the bus, right? You guys will see.
All right, for her lips. All right, and you can see,
Uh,
and then she'll look up at the window, right? Now look at the hand signal. All right, I gotta talk about it. Look at the hand signal. Okay, this is what they do.
they had.
I'm so glad I do what I do.
Right? They had.
I didn't really pay a focus on her, but
On the other side,
certain,
one side,
certain things. Okay,
you only have one.
but anyhow, so you guys see that they turned off the as soon as the Verizon truck passed by. Right, this is what they do. That's right. Now walking to the building, and again,
So,
this is why they and I didn't even notice that my image stabilization.
I was like, okay. So then she took out her phone.
So
and
now you Pam's neighbor, white dude, right? Who they use from time to time to talk to them. As he is going into the building, right, he takes his keys out. But the interesting thing is that he used his pointing finger to go into his pocket, take his keys out, while sticking out his three finger. So when he takes the keys out, right, holding the keys in between his thumb and his pointing finger, the white supremacist sign, right? And you hear me mention it.
Yeah, no, see the hand signal. Trying to mask it, but I think these keys out.
Okay. So again, when I talk about how because again, they have experts in these things, so they will do these things in order to get away with it. But guess what? I can't explain exactly what it is that they do. Because once you understand the mindset of the dark triad, the personality traits, and particularly when they're in positions of power and authority, and particularly the minds of white supremacists, right? The dark triad mindset of white supremacists, particularly when they're in positions of authority and power, and how they will cover up their crimes. How there was a video of a woman who sued, I forgot the city and the police department, because she was maliciously prosecuted for the death of a police officer. This police officer caused his own death. There was a traffic incident that happened, and this officer steps back into traffic, right? He didn't put flares down, anything like that. And then this woman didn't see him, and she hit him, and this officer died, right? And they had the video showing, this is the prosecution, had the video showing that it was the officer's fault and there was nothing this woman can do to avoid hitting the police officer. They hid the video and they prosecuted her. All right? They deliberately hid the video and prosecuted this woman. So law enforcement and even the prosecution office, their job is not about the truth. Okay? For the most part. Their job is to lie, and it's about conviction. And conviction. And it doesn't matter if you're innocent or not. It doesn't matter. Right? So when the video came out, the judge said, we are not, this is ridiculous, right? And dropped the charges. And so she sued them for malicious prosecution. This is again, this is law. This is the predator law enforcement because they are predatorial. They are predators. It's funny how they'll talk about predators and predators, right? But the vast majority of police officers are predators, whether they're male, female, black, white, what have you, doesn't matter, right? They are predators. Anyhow, just wanted to do this video and explain to you guys exactly what it is that they do. Stop being fooled. Stop being manipulated. Think. Because I will guarantee you this. If you're a black person and you have any one of your family members, and particularly if you're a black person and you have family members who are in politics or want to get into politics, they need to understand what the system will do to them. Right? Overtly as well as covertly. To set them up, to control them. To blackmail them, I should say to whitemail them, to whitelist them, because they have to control them. They don't want us to think. They just want us to believe. Okay? Talk to you guys in the next video.